for the Foundation Fighting Blindness My Retina Tracker genetic testing program. As a first step, the clinic is going to need to complete the program web form. This web form is designed to route all of the paperwork first over to the patient so they can access all of the forms electronically. They're going to complete the My Retina Tracker genetic testing program and registry consent forms, a HIPAA release form, and the Informed DNA services, and then submit them. Once it's submitted, the provider will automatically receive an email and that includes a link to the HIPAA release form and the Informed DNA consent for services. They can download these forms and then they'll be required to upload them into the test requisition form. So to access the web form, you can enter into the test requisition form, and then under test selection, you'll find a link to the web form. So once you've entered into the form, the first page is going to be a summary of the steps to complete the ordering process. You can press begin, and then on the second page, it's going to request contact information. This is the information that is necessary to route all the forms. So in the first two fields, you're going to enter information about the parent or guardian or the patient. So when the patient is age 18 years or older, it's going to be their name and email. If they're a minor, it's going to be the parent or guardians. And then you're going to be asked information about the clinic. So this information can be the providers, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It basically is just the individual who will need to receive the executed copy of the HIPAA release form so that they can complete the test requisition form. Press next. On the third page, you're going to be entering in some general information about your patient. This basically just makes it easier for the patient to complete the program documents because all of this information is going to be pre-populated into the documents. So you're going to enter the full name of your patient, their date of birth, and then if the patient's a minor, you're going to need to put in the full name and relationship to the patient of the parent or guardian. The next page will outline next steps, so it basically lets you know where the paperwork will go once submitted. You'll have the opportunity to review all the information you entered into the form, and then you're going to press next to submit. Once the form is submitted, your patient will automatically receive an email with the documents. So this email will not only include a link to the DocuSign envelope so that the documents can be reviewed, but it's also going to include some general information about our program, along with some links if the patient's interested in additional information. They can access our program flyer if they'd like more information about the steps of program participation. They can access our patient FAQ if they have general information about genetic testing, and then of course our program. And then we also have a document with helpful hints for accessing and navigating a DocuSign envelope using a screen reader. After they've reviewed all this information, if they're still interested in enrolling in the program, they can collect or click on the Review Documents button to access the envelope. If the patient has an existing DocuSign account, they're going to need to log into it to access these forms. If they don't, they'll be asked to enter in a password. It won't require authentication via email or a text message. They'll basically just be asked to enter in a password and then automatically take into the documents. So they're going to be reviewing the consent for the genetic testing program first. They can press start and begin paging through the document. And then as you can see, the general information that you provided in the web form has been pre-populated. In this one, the signature's already been provided. They're then going to page through the registry consent form. And they'll need to click sign to execute it. So In order to be compliant with CFR Part 11, the patient is going to need to authenticate each signature. So when they click on that box, they're going to need to indicate a reason for signing. So this is the default. I approve this document. They'll press sign, and then they'll need to enter in their email address and password. So it does say login, but they aren't actually logged out of the document. They'll just need to enter in their account email, their account password. And then you'll see the signatures automatically placed in there, and I'll take them to the next form, which is the HIPAA release form. So once they've completed and submitted all of these documents, the provider or the email address put into the web form will receive an email notifying them that the patient has completed the documents. They're going to click on Review Completed Documents. And as you'll see, the clinic only receives a copy of the HIPAA release form and the informed DNA consent for services. Although both of them are going to need to be submitted to the lab is only going to use the informed DNA consent for services if the provider does make a referral to informed DNA. So the clinic will need to download these. Save them, and then they will need to put them into the test requisition form. So again, you're going to access the test requisition form here. This is just a standard clinical document. You are going to need to put in some clinical information like BCVA and some medical history. But to upload these documents, you're going to choose them here, upload them. And again, this is a required field for submitting the test requisition form. So the patient will need to complete this paperwork before the test requisition form is submitted. So once submitted, the provider can either collect the sample in office or have the sample collection kit sent to the patient's home address that's entered into this form. And then results should be ready within 3 to 4 weeks after receiving the sample. The results can either be accessed through the ordering portal here or in the test requisition form. The provider can request that the report be sent via fax. So this completes the ordering process. If you have any questions, please give me a call or an email. My email address is lyoungborg@fightingblindness.org.